In this video, I tell you why visiting Medellin, Colombia is a bad idea.
How dare I?
The drugs are overhyped.
You're better off paying LA prices for prostitutes and blow.
The city is overcrowded.
Too many passport bros have been visiting.
And the dating scene is just downright dangerous.
You never know with Colombian women.
So pack your bags and go somewhere, anywhere besides the city of Eternal Spring.
Hola, welcome to Bogota, Colombia. This is my last day in Colombia, and before I go, I want to deliver a warning message about Medellin. But before I forget, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and help out the channel. So I'm shooting this Medellin warning video here in Bogota to give you a point of reference to show you a place that I do like visiting, that I would recommend, that I will return to. I will genuinely miss being here when I leave tomorrow. And we can consider this video a sort of public service announcement. I am 100% sure, absolutely sure, that someone watching this video will not go to Medellin. Some young man who would have otherwise been drugged and robbed, or worse. And for that, I will feel like a better human being. Let me start by saying that Medellin is a wonderful place. It's got great city planning, and it's really nice to walk and bike the streets there. The climate is great. The temperatures range from lows in the 60s to highs in the 80s, pretty much all year round. And the cost of living is low. Nomad List puts the monthly price tag for living in Medellin at under $1,500. It's also shedding its reputation as the cartel capital of the world, but still has that cool and edgy history that is attractive to the Wanderlust set. On the surface, it's hard to say anything bad about Medellin. After all, how dare I? But never judge a location by its cover. In the 2 months that I lived in Medellin, 3 of my housemates were drugged and robbed in the house. There was a kidnapping attempt on one of my friends, and 5 other people that I lived with had their smartphones stolen. To top that all off, there was a very strange local religious group that invaded our co-living space and prayed for God's help to get rid of us gringos. Those experiences left me asking only one question. Why the fuck would any normal, healthy Western person ever go there? Now, I'm not bashing on Medellin, the city, per se, nor am I bashing on the paisas, the majority of the population who live and work and who grew up there. Let me be clear. I'm bashing on the criminal element that has been feeding off of the Western gringos and the enormous marketplace for cheap drugs and prostitution that has sprung up to meet demand. I think the issue is that too many of us Westerners are visiting Medellin. It's become too popular, and the city has become overrun with drugs, prostitution, and crime. Not that I think anything's necessarily or inherently wrong with drugs and prostitution. I know it's why a lot of young men travel, but the city has so much of it that this criminal element has arisen to clean you of your money and potentially harm your life. And it's not doing the locals any good either. For a nice local family or a couple in Medellin that wants to go and have dinner on Friday or Saturday night on Provenza, the nice street in Poblado, they've got to carve through like a sea of about 500 prostitutes. And the gringos are also pricing the locals out of their homes and out of their lifestyle. So I don't think this dynamic is good for either side. What I would like to see happen is for either one or two things. Either for there to be an adult in the room of the people managing the city of Medellin who will lay down the law. Police won't even take a report if you're drugged or robbed. I think they just want to keep the crime rates low so it looks better for tourism. So the city is not taking responsibility for the crime on tourists. Or number two, it just gets so bad that we, Western people, stop going. And Medellin will have an opportunity to hit the reset button. Now, if you're still on the fence or you're still committed to going to visit Medellin, let me continue selling. So, the Tinder robbery scam. This happened, like I said, to 3 guys that were in the co-living house that I was in over the course of 4 months. And I've heard countless stories, including the one that I told in another video about a guy who woke up with a dead hooker outside of his window. I went to the embassy here in Bogota last week just to get a new passport. And the place was crowded. The express emergency passport service for Americans was crowded. I've never seen that before. I've been to embassies in other countries. I've always been like the only guy in there. There was an enormous line at 8:30 in the morning of people waiting to get in to get a US emergency passport because theirs had been stolen. Out of the 10 people who were robbed, 8 of them were robbed in Medellin, none of them in Bogota, the others on the coast. 3 of them were guys that were drugged and robbed. One was still bleeding. A guy that I made friends with woke up to find that his Robinhood account, all the positions in his Robinhood account had been closed out, and the team of thieves working with the girl he met had cleared him out. Just too many stories. And the other factor, I think, is that a lot of white Western guys particularly think that they're going to come down here with their fair skin and blue eyes and sweep some nice Colombian girl off their feet. Hi. Hi. Like one of these girls. Hello, say hello to YouTube. No inglés? Oh, ok, hablo español, sí, practicar.
Hablas
Sí.
súper. ¿Qué estás haciendo? Nosotros también estamos practicando inglés.
Oh, ok, un poco.
Spanish English.
Igual.
Igual.
Ya.
¿Estás disfrutando
¿Cómo te
la
llamas?
ciudad? Alison.
Alison?
Hilda.
Hilda and Alison.
Oli.
Thank you. Ciao. Bye-bye. Wow, right on cue. So, yeah, I mean, definitely not working girls, but I don't know. You never know with Colombian women. Anyway, a lot of guys, a lot of my friends are like, oh, you're gonna kill it down there in Colombia, you know, with your blue eyes and fair skin. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. So just cancel that idea. So a lot of men come down here and think they're gonna meet like some nice girl on the dating apps, and they end up back at the room. The girl pours the drinks, the guy takes a sip, and then he wakes up and all his shit's gone. They leave you your ID and like one set of clothing, or one change of clothing. They take your passport for like cyber crimes and trying to get into your identity, but they typically leave your ID so you can go back to the embassy and get the fuck out of here. And the police won't take the report, like I said. It's a mess. It happens all too common. And I do have a few role model friends, let's say, American and European guys who have been in Medellin for a while and have met like the nice Colombian girl. But that's so uncommon, and it took them so long. And my favorite class in business school was the data science class. It was called Data and Decisions. And the data about you meeting a nice Colombian girl and living happily ever after do not support that decision. Second on the list, kidnappings. I made the other video about the kidnapping attempt on my friend Jesse, and that's real, man. You know, it was kind of partially a harebrained scheme, but he's been here too long. He's owned restaurants here. He had a young assistant that knew he had money, at least to some degree, because he's been throwing it around for a while. And some of the assistant's criminal friends lured him, the assistant, into a plot to kidnap my friend and probably try to drain his bank accounts. There's a news story about a French guy who was kidnapped in the past year, and the kidnappers held him hostage but used his electronic devices to communicate with his family so that they could slowly bleed his large bank accounts dry without tipping off the bank, while creating the perception to his family that he was still alive. And when they were done, boom, they killed the guy and got rid of him. Long wait times. This one is not criminal or dangerous, but god damn it, did the long wait times drive me insane in Medellin. People there seem to have, the people that work at retail shops, at the grocery stores, they have like no accountability. They take no initiative. Many of them can't add. I've watched them like counting change a million times. Just going to the store is a major frustration. So trying to live there and take a day to say, run 5 errands, it's like going to the DMV 5 fucking times. It's insane how slow things are there. This bullet point has got to be my favorite. The drugs are terrible. 2 things most men come to Medellin for: coke and hookers. All right, and so we've covered the hookers bit. Your best bet, FYI, if you are there, is just to rent a prepagado, like a prepaid chick that shows up to your secure. Hola. Rent the prepaid chick that shows up to your security guard building so she could be signed in. There's pretty much no other form of dating left in Medellin that's safe. Anyway, so the drugs. The drugs are terrible. The coke is terrible. I lived with a friend who was a chemist of sorts, and he was testing all the cocaine samples from Medellin by washing it in acetone. It gets rid of things that are not cocaine. And even stuff, there was a guy that, like a local gang member kind of dude that was out in front of our building, who would, like all day long, just be ripping key bumps from a bag. And he insisted that that was like good stuff. We tested his stuff. We tested samples from all over Medellin, different brands, and it was like 10 to 20%. That's horrendous. My friend said he did the same thing in Los Angeles, and on a rare occasion, he'd just get, something that wasn't coke at all. It was 0%, but most of the time it was between 70 and 80%. And so the theory is there that the locals, the gringos and Colombian locals alike, have a theory that the cocaine there is just like the coffee, that Colombia sells all the good stuff to the United States. So sex tourism, that's a no. Cocaine tourism, that's a no. You're better off spending the money you would have blown on plane tickets and hotels and just paying LA prices for prostitutes and blow. No bars in Medellin. This is a good one. You got to be thinking, what the fuck? There's plenty of bars in Medellin. Poblado, Provenza. It's very hard to find a bar where you can walk into and like sit down at the bar where other people are sitting and standing at the bar, where you can socialize. Everyone sits down at a fucking table all the time. It's got to be the most frustrating thing about the culture. So, which I think is why a lot of guys end up getting snared into these Tinder and dating app scams, because it's damn near impossible to like just go out and meet normal women who can afford their own drinks at a civilized bar. I don't know that woman exists in Medellin. She's always with the group of friends, or, I mean, it's really annoying. It's really frustrating. So social life there kind of sucks for a white Western dude. It really sucks. I know a guy that had it perfect. He lives in Miami. The flight's short to Medellin. He would stay with us in the co-living space and then rent a separate apartment just to sport fuck hookers. So he didn't shit where he was eating, you know, he didn't bring the prostitutes to the co-living house. That's pretty much the only guy had it figured out. You know, for what he wanted to get out of the city, the city was able to supply him. But yeah, you're not finding love and romance, no good drugs. The social scene's fucking horrible. Like, this idea, Bogota, like the flight takes, what's up, homies? The flight to Bogota takes 35 minutes, and I'm still kicking myself that I didn't get out of Medellin and come here 5 weeks earlier than I did. Okay, no English. This is not a big one for me. I can get by with my Spanish. I could sort of fumble through the day with my Spanish, as I did with those two girls, and be okay. Although in Medellin, interfacing with the general public, meaning when I wasn't in the co-living house, I had to use Spanish all the time, and it got mentally taxing, which was kind of fun for me. It was a challenge. My Spanish improved, but if you don't know Spanish, just be prepared for that. It's not a city that's set up for Western tourism where the service staff speaks English. You're gonna have to use Spanish or a Spanish translator. So again, I'm shooting this video here in Bogota to give you a reference point of a place that I do like visiting in Colombia, that I would recommend, that I will return to. And if culture and history is your thing, you cannot beat Bogota. The museums are here, the art is here, the history is here. If food is your thing, Bogota has the culinary scene. It's the capital, so even if you want to try regional Colombian foods, all that is here. All the high-end culinary stuff is here. If adventure is your thing, there are cities like Minca where you can live on top of a mountain. If you're really just doing a touristy thing, hit the beach and go to Cartagena or San Andres. I just can't make the case for anyone in their right mind to visit Medellin. It's not doing you any good because it's putting you in harm's way. It's not doing the locals any good. If you're there to stay for a while, you're driving up their cost of living, driving them out of their homes, and the place is just becoming polluted with hookers and criminals because too many passport bros have been visiting. I hope this information helps you. I really hope it steers you away from visiting Medellin if you are planning to do so. That's all I got for now. Please hit the subscribe button and help the channel out. And I'll see you in the next video. Unless your dumbass ignores my advice and goes to Medellin and gets drugged and robbed and killed by a Tinder hooker and her crew. Please heed my advice.